If using either of your hands activates the opposite side of the brain from that hand, what happens if you cultivate ambidexterity? Hello kindred longevity lifestyle designers, this is Accurate Secrets of Longevity.com. Ambidexterity is the ability to use either of your hands with ease or with an equal amount of ability or dexterity. There's interesting studies on right or left-handed people and the difference in things that they do in their life and the way they behave, because the left hand corresponds with the right brain, which is more creative, emotional, and there's a variety of things associated with the right hemisphere of the brain, and right-handed people are associated with having the left hemisphere of the brain activated more often, obviously from the development of that connection. That's not a hard and fast rule, but that's more of a tendency for either of those hand favoring. So people who favor the right hand, which is roughly 90% or more of the population, and even back in the day they used to force everyone to be right-handed, and it is something you can learn to do, but there is sort of a natural tendency for someone to be right or left-handed. And in the past, it was thought that people who were left-handed would have bad health, or it would cause bad health, or they were channeling the devil, or something bizarre like that. And then there are people who are naturally ambidextrous. So that's either you are naturally, or you can begin to cultivate that ability. And I'm advocating the cultivation of that, or the learning of that, just to work on the brain, help balance the hemispheres, in terms of your overall usage of your brain. And then also it helps reduce the wear and tear on the side of the body that you would naturally favor. So you can think of someone who plays a professional sport, specifically one of a sport where they're swinging something, whether it's tennis or cricket or baseball. They're going to be using one arm, generally the right, with the greater force. And over time, that's the side that's going to develop the injuries. So you can think of anyone over the course of a lifetime, they're going to more likely to develop problems in the right arm if they're right-handed, or opposite if they're left-handed. Even myself, I know I got a shoulder injury a long time in the past from practicing Wing Chun Kung Fu in high school. And it actually also developed into a slight elbow injury. And it's not so much of an injury anymore, but there's a cracking. I don't know if you can hear that every time I move my hand in this way. And that's just something that I've worked with and doesn't seem to go away. Perhaps there'll be something I discover down the road that will help deal with whatever's going on there. But it's overuse and the wear and tear of the body. And if you can distribute that wear and tear, obviously you want to reduce wear and tear through conscious movement and not engaging in things that would increase that wear and tear. Such as, for me, I ended up giving up that martial art because of the things it was doing in my shoulder, and that wasn't my specific inability to do it properly. It was something I was trying to work with, but it just wasn't something that I felt I was designed to do. And I had later successes with another style of martial art, which I continued for a longer period of time. We'll get back to the main topic of this video in just one moment. If you're enjoying this content, perhaps you're a regular subscriber, perhaps you've found me in a YouTube search relating to the information I put out, I'd ask you to consider making some sort of financial contribution if you want to see me continually put out this well-researched, in-depth videos. Ways of doing that are in the drop-down menu below this video. You have to come to the actual YouTube video page if you're on a third-party site. And you can find links to different things I'd recommend you do. One of which could be purchasing through an affiliate of mine, companies I recommend that have great products, high quality, companies that I personally purchase from. Another way is to make a direct donation to me through PayPal. Another way, of course, is also to have phone consultations, and you can find that at my main site, at the link below. So with that, I can definitely appreciate anything you're able to contribute to me, even if it's just your open heart and kind words. So with that, we'll get right back to the content, and thank you. So yeah, in my personal life, I use my left hand for certain things. Like I try to brush my teeth with my left hand more than my right. I often get in the habit of doing the right side of my mouth with the right hand and then switching to the left. Try and open door handles with the left. Basically the only thing I don't do with my left is writing, because you obviously, if you're writing a check or you're doing anything in writing, you want it to look nice. And my writing's got bad enough doing most of my written work now on the computer. You want your writing to look good for people's eyes, so doing it in the left hand wouldn't be the best thing unless you want to actually practice it with your left and hone that. But doing things like trying to dial a phone on a cell phone with your left hand as opposed to your right, just thinking of all the different ways you can work that in. And then also being conscious of the other parts of your body. Do you favor one leg over the other when you're standing somewhere? Do you push things with your foot if you ever use your legs for things like pushing open a door if your hands are full, with your right or your left? If you're playing sports, do you favor one side of the body over the other? You can just, through conscious intent, start to work on the weaker side and bring that up to speed. As a drummer growing up, I was very aware of this, and I actually started to arrange my set in a way that was more ambidextrous, getting some more stuff on the left-hand side, because if you think of the way a drum set's set up, you have the hi-hat and snare drum. Here, your left hand doesn't play much else, but the right hand has the rest of this kit, which is mostly over here. Of course, you're also going to move the left hand over there, but the right hand's always leading, and I got very much into developing the left side, and that led to better rhythm and better beats and things I could play on the kit, because I was much more fluid in that fashion. So those are the major things. You've got the health benefits of the reduced wear and tear, and then you also have the ability for it to improve brain functioning. And it's a subtle thing and it takes time to develop, but I definitely feel there's a difference in the idea that you're getting more of whole brain functioning from learning how to use both hands in various tasks equally. Another good thing to do it, and be careful with this, is when you're in the kitchen cooking, using your left hand to stir pots and pans. And if you get good enough, then maybe cutting things with your left hand. Just keep those fingertips on your right hand out of the way. And yeah, there's a lot of different ways to work in using your left hand and the left side of your body in everyday life. And you just don't want to take for granted always using the same side, and if you're right-handed, or the opposite if you're left, and really get into that dynamic of making use of both sides of your body. So with that, let me know if you've ever thought of doing this before, if you're right or left-handed, or if you're naturally ambidextrous, and let us know in the comments below. And then subscribe and like and favorite this video as well. So with that, take care and embrace life without limits. Let's hope that you're an ambi-turner as well.